Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the Cardinal Coaching Solutions podcast. Wes Gow, happy to be here with you. Happy to be back. In my case, I took a few months off this past summer, just some time off from the content creation side of things, and focused my time on some family. We did some travel. Made some memories and very grateful and blessed to have done that. Hoping that your summer has been well. Summertime, if you're listening or joining here in North America. But hope you're well. And, here we are in September 2021. The world continues to change as it does. Times continue to evolve as they will. And we are all asked to meet this moment and respond to it in some way, shape, or form. And so hope that you are finding that balance. And actually, coming back here for the first time in a couple months, wanted to share a little bit about what that has looked like for me in terms of finding that balance. So the title of this episode, at least at the time that I'm recording this, I'm tentatively leaning towards something like math or life math, something like that. I was having a conversation with someone recently, and this individual mentioned areas of growth that they wanted, personal growth, professional growth, and they just made the comment in the course of conversation about what they needed to add, because when we think of growth, that's what most of us, myself included, that's our first context, is adding to, more of, taller, bigger, faster, stronger, more certifications, more degrees, more muscle mass, more communication skills, higher emotional intelligence. That's typically the context that we find ourselves thinking of growth. It's framed in this picture of more, adding more. And just as this individual is saying that, this thought popped into my mind, and so I brought that thought out into the conversation. It wasn't fully formed, so I wasn't sharing this in any kind of advice. In fact, we began riffing on this and learning from each other on this. And I said, wait. I hear you saying growth, and I hear you immediately start talking about adding to. What does growth look like if it's not adding? And he said, what do you mean? And I said, well, what does growth look like when you're taking away from? And both of our expressions, we were doing this over Zoom. We both kind of sat back and we realized, yeah, we had been missing something. We had only been thinking about growth in this one paradigm. And we both got excited about, what does growth look like when it's less of something? Whoa. And we started to realize that this concept of growth as taking away from, there is that paradigm in our language, in our lexicon. For example, we've all heard phrases like addition by subtraction. Yeah, maybe there's that member on your team that decided to retire or took another job somewhere else, and you find yourself with that phrase, addition by subtraction. Yes, we lost somebody and we're better off for it. Another phrase, again, that's, in fact, I may have even mentioned it already, but in addition to addition by subtraction, here's another one. Less is more. Yeah, we hear that. So growth isn't always only ever in this context of adding to, taking on, adding more. There is absolutely room to be considering growth from the perspective of less than. In fact, if you think about it, and this is kind of a fresh thought for me right now, but the two usually go hand in hand. If you're going to add something, you usually find yourself having to also, in the process, one hand and the other, get rid of something else. Yeah, so that's been really on my mind as we are here, like I said, late summer, 2021. If you're listening here in North America, at least, we know what's going on. We're still in this world of evolving, rapidly changing policies and mandates and things like that. And it can be a real roller coaster. It can be a real mental strain, emotional strain. I can find it at times very difficult to even concentrate or be present. And so I say all that, not wanting to go too deep into that, but wanting to just, couch where I'm at, that this context of growth, or this concept of growth, has been really, really at the forefront of my mind. So, and in particular, growth as addition by subtraction. What do I need to get rid of? I thought of this metaphor of, when I'm reaching for something in a closet, in one of our storage closets, linen closets, somewhere high up in the pantry. When I'm reaching for something in particular and there's a ton of junk in my way, that can be a good indication of it's time to get rid of some stuff. It's time to offload, unload. It's time to experience some less is more. If I get rid of this stuff that's in my way, I'll have more space to reach what matters. Yeah. I think it's worth considering. And so, of course, this is a platform for me to just share where I'm at. And I'm certain I've probably, hit on this topic before. But I hope that it's helpful for you. What is that for you? What do you need to let go of? What do you need to offload? What are you reaching for? What do you want more of? And what's in the way? Yeah. What's in the way? So, practical example of what that looks like for me. If you've listened to episodes prior to this, I'm embarrassed to say that I've done this before. And so this is me having to do it again. All right. I mentioned about the roller coaster, emotional mental fog, or emotional roller coaster, mental fog, ever-changing policies, procedures, mandates, whatever. And I needed more mental clarity. I needed more emotional stability. Mental clarity, emotional stability. I wanted to be more present in the moment. And so once again, I found myself doing, almost a year later, because I did this about a year ago, about 10 months ago. Once again, I took some actions to go, okay, I'm going back into my podcast feed. I'm deleting that show. Not that they're bad. They're just not helpful. It's all echo chamber content anyway. And all it does is get me frustrated from a political standpoint. It's not helpful. It doesn't add anything to me. If I'm reaching into my cupboard for more emotional stability, mental clarity, this shit is in the way. It's time to get rid of it. For now, it's time to get rid of it. Delete those shows. I also took, there's at least one newsletter that I unsubscribed from. I don't need to see that anymore. I don't need that every day. It's not helpful. It's not what I'm reaching for. It's in the way of what I'm reaching for. Now, at some point, evidently, there was a time where it was helpful, I guess. I wanted it. I put it in my shelf. But it wasn't serving me any longer. And so I sit here this morning. I'm blissfully naive. I'm a bit unaware. Now, I'm not saying that that's the posture that I'll always have. I'm not saying that that's even always the most helpful posture, to just, go full on ostrich and bury your head in the sand. That's not at all what I'm advocating for. For me personally, I knew what I wanted and I knew what was in the way. And I got that stuff out of the way. And I feel a lot better for it. What is that for you? What do you find yourself reaching for? And what's in the way? What's on the shelf that it's time to move? Even as we are here in late summer, nature around us here in the Northern Hemisphere, it's going to start changing. It's going to start changing. There's going to be a natural letting go, dropping. Leaves are going to change. Leaves are going to fall. Things are going to start to close up. So anyway, I hope that is helpful for you. If that's something you'd like to process through, you want a coach to sit with you and ask you some questions to get some clarity on that, that's my jam. Send me an email, Wes, W-E-S, @cardinalcoachingsolutions.com. Friends, hope that you're well. Find your balance, get clarity on what you're reaching for, and take the action of what needs to be moved. Take care. We'll do this again soon.